Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and as I told you, it's sometimes hard to get government documents and find things that are new and fresh on the weekends. Well, I spent a little time on Twitter today, and guess what I found? Yep, some different things that I think maybe you'll be interested in. This first one made me laugh. I mean, seriously, I laughed for I don't know how long. The cats were looking at me, wondering why I was laughing. They thought I had gone off my rocker. But this is because the Daily Kos came out with this article about how awful it was that Trump had this game at the White House for the Halloween party, where the kids would put their name on a brick and make a wall. And so they called it horrifying. And so they were horrified that the White House did this. And it was an indoctrination game. And so there it is. And, they're talking about we were horrified that they did this. And if you read the comments, if you take this link and go to there and you read the comments, the people are just absolutely insane. And so I really think that we have found a very good test for figuring out who does and who doesn't suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. All we have to do is show them this wall and ask them to write their name on a brick to put on there. And if their head spins around a few times, then we know for sure they have Trump derangement syndrome. And we need to make sure they're highly medicated as we go into these next few years, because he's not going anywhere. And he's going to be the occupant of the White House for the next 5 years, because we still have one more year to go on this one. So they just better get used to it. And either they're going to have to learn how to live with Trump derangement syndrome, or they're going to have to figure out the truth about Donald Trump and support him like we do. So anyway, that was the first one that I came up with. And I'll leave all the links down below, just like usual. So this one was from Rich Higgins. Now, I have to admit, I don't know who Rich Higgins is, but here's his bio. Senior Fellow Americans for Intel Reform, former Director of Strategic Planning at National Security Council, political warfare, Army veteran. Sounds like, pretty good guy and somebody who knows what he's talking about. Well, anyway, he says rant warning level 3. And he has 11 different posts in this particular thread. So this is the first of 11. Dear MAGA, please save some of your anger that is directed at the Democrats for Mitch McConnell and Team RINO. In fact, the RINOs are far more dangerous to MAGA movement. Let's take the impeachment inquiry, for example. And he goes on and he says, August 2nd, 2019, Donald Trump forced to withdraw Congressman Ratcliffe as his nomination for DNI. Reason? Ratcliffe is not a swamper. He's a former U.S. attorney who's patriotic and loyal to MAGA. Immediately disqualified by Mitch McConnell and Senator Burr. Yeah, Senator Burr. SSCI coup team. And SSCI is the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. So, yeah, Burr is the chairman of that. What a guy. He hasn't done us many favors, that's for sure. And so Ratcliffe withdrawal clears way for IC, the intelligence community, to initiate coup phase 3. The next week, whistleblower Charamella, under threat from Durham, coordinates with Schiff's team at the HPSCI, the HPSCI, and that is the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the Intel Committee. Easy, because Misko and Grace are his old Team Obama buddies and are both now at the HPSCI, the Intel Committee. So then it goes on. HPSCI and Schiff send whistleblower to Compass Rose. And if you don't remember, I did a video on the whole Compass Rose thing. Yeah, okay, there's a lot of meaning to that name, first of all. And then they basically are the people who will fund whistleblowers. I mean, if you are a whistleblower, they will give you money to be one and make sure that your bills are paid. It's like, yeah, okay. Whistleblower law, but Dem operatives. Yes, they definitely are Democrat operatives. And lawfare group, Team Comey, for assistance. Meanwhile, whistleblower gathers his inputs and synthesizes Fiona Hill, Vindman, spy, and a few other inputs. And then he goes on. He says, whistleblower then submits formal complaint to Intel Community IG Michael Atkinson, previously from the DOJ National Security Division. Yes, he was with Team FISA, Team Russia hacked the election, Team Coup, Sally Yates, and crew. And then he goes on, he says, ICIG then modifies the ICIG requirement. ICIG, the Intelligence Community Inspector General. The ICIG requirement for first-hand info and allows for hearsay admissions. Whistleblower submits, does not acknowledge previous congressional engagement, and it processes up to the acting director of National Intel. Let's go on. The acting director is retired Navy Admiral Joe McGuire, who accepts the complaint at face value and reports complaint to HIPSCI, the Intel Committee, and later testifies. However, what most don't know is that Admiral McGuire is friends and colleagues with Admiral Remove Trump ASAP McRaven, the same four-star admiral who wrote the op-ed calling for the immediate removal of the president. So McRaven's buddy pushes the noodle to HIPSCI, the Intel Committee, and Comrade Schiff takes it from there. Hearsay testimony, secret witnesses, no due process, no cross-examination of witnesses, propaganda, disinformation, but remember, all of this, and I do mean all of it, was permitted when the Senate, Mitch McConnell and Richard Burr, decided that Congressman Ratcliffe was not corruptible and therefore unqualified. So, save some of your anger about the coup impeachment for these rhino corrupt Republicans who think they can trade on your anger to raise money for themselves and then betray you from their marbled halls and steak dinners. The rhino is the true enemy of MAGA. Well, I think they're one of the true enemies. I think we've got several of them, honestly. Several of them indeed. So I'm going to have a link to that. I'll probably put the link to the thread reader unroll because that's usually, a good thing to keep just in case something would happen and this would get deleted. So I found that one really interesting. And again, I don't know this guy, but he sounds like he's got some qualifications to know what he's talking about. Okay, and so the next one has to do with this particular person on Twitter. And yeah, his name is Catturd. Okay. But he sometimes has some pretty good and insightful things to say, although the name is kind of, But anyway, so evidently what I assume happened, here's what he says. Someone just sent me this story from the Daily Kooks, which is the same place that they had the Wall article and they were horrified at the Wall. Okay, they make fun of me the entire article and basically call me a stupid MAGA supporting smart butt. Okay, so this has to do with Ann Coulter. Evidently, this is the headline here. There's a Daily Kos, and to Ann Coulter, when Washington Examiner has headline that you were outsmarted by a turd. I mean, really. Okay, you have so totally lost. Now remember, this is left-wing, very, very left-wing. For those of you not keeping up with the anorexic sewer system that is Ann Coulter, I mean, they really do not like her. It seems that Ms. Fascist political bomb thrower is not up to her job, which is at least keeping up with who's who in D.C. It all started with a smart comment on Twitter against Tulsi Gabbard from a proud MAGA supporter called Catturd. And so he said, for all you foolish Tulsi Gabbard fans, she just voted for the illegal impeachment coup. She's just a better looking Nancy Pelosi. So that's what he said. And then she responded, no, she didn't. Tulsi is a senator, meaning she's in the Senate and doesn't vote on House resolutions. Oh, but she was wrong. Because Tulsi Gabbard is a member of the House. She's a representative, not a senator. So she was wrong. Well, then she came back and she said, this should make international headlines. Coulter makes mistake. First ever. So anyway, she was, taken down. And of course, these people are enjoying it, but they called Catturd. Some crazed Trump worshiper was able to humiliate Ann Coulter. So they thought that was funny and they're dancing all about it. It's just crazed Trump worshiper. So anybody who supports Trump, they have to label that way. Whereas these people who blindly followed Obama for years and who are blindly following some of these bizarre ideas of the left right now, they're not crazy worshipers. So anyway, I thought I'd share that little story with you. Again, remember, this is very left-wing and they do not like Trump. But it was kind of an interesting go back and forth there. And of course, his name on Twitter just makes it even more so. Anyway, then there was this one that I found. Veteran mob prosecutor John Durham was not appointed by AG Barr. Durham served as interim U.S. attorney since October 28, 2017, after Sessions appointed him. Coincidentally, the same day you-know-who began posting. President Trump nominated Durham as U.S. attorney on November 1st, 2017. It's happening. Yep, it is, folks. It really is. So I wanted to point that out to you. I thought that was pretty good, too. And that's what I've been saying. I said when Sessions appointed Huber was not the only one. There was a team that was appointed. And I really think there were several U.S. attorneys that have been working behind the scenes on many things. And they're trying to pull all of this information together in a way so that we can have some cleansing done. We want justice. That's what we want. And so I think that's what they're working towards. Then Trump retweeted this, and I think this is probably a good point. It has a video here. You can watch that. But basically the question is, Rudy Giuliani, please, can you redirect your corruption investigation efforts to focus on how much U.S. taxpayer aid went to a Ukrainian company that was paying Joe Biden's son while Joe Biden was in charge of the aid? Boom. That's the real question right there. And I assume that Rudy has already been looking into it. Now, obviously, a lot of people are making some comments on here because when Trump retweeted it, then the little bots go crazy and the leftists who have nothing better to do but sit on Twitter, I guess, all day, kind of like me today, but they go through and they start making all these negative comments. Well, I had several of them say, well, why would Rudy be doing it? Where's the law enforcement? I said, it's like this right here. I really like this one. It's the FBI, the IRS, the DOJ, and they're the foxes in charge of the hen house. All right? Now, I'm from the country, and we all know around here you don't put a fox in charge of a hen house, because if you find dead chickens and you say, who did it? The fox is going to say, nah, me. But you know it's him. So the people were saying, why in the world can't you let the FBI and the DOJ do their job? Well, it's because there's been a lot of foxes in that hen house. And if you look at this, if I remember correctly, this is from the IG report from June of 2018. And this was labeling all the people that were involved in the midyear investigation. And look at them, Now, tell me again why you would trust these people looking into corruption of the Obama administration, including Joe Biden and his son, and expect them to find corruption. They're not going to. So anyway, I wanted to show that to you. And again, I will leave the links to all of these down below so you can see them. And then there was this one. It just made me laugh. When the Speaker of the House is so plastered on our dime, she doesn't realize the young conservative asking her to take a picture with him is wearing a MAGA hat. Priceless. And she's smiling away. Yeah, she's definitely not all there in that picture, is she? I think she tends to equate flying with alcohol. So anyway, hey, I wanted to also tell you that a while back I did one and it was showing all the different expenses that the Democrats fly in here and there. I went back the year before to 2018, the earlier months, and 2017, I think, too, to see if the Republicans did the same thing. No, they didn't. They didn't take great big bunches of people and go flying and stay in countries for a while. And this is what was going on here. So, yeah, that's what's happening. Oh, I tell you, if we knew where all of our money goes, if all of that corruption could be stopped, we probably wouldn't have to pay taxes even, and we could pay off our debt, because that's where it's all going. These people are siphoning it off in so many ways. It just is appalling. But anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I hope you found something interesting in that. The links will be down below, and that's what I've got. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you all later.